Welcome to Let Freedom Ring. My guest this week, making his third appearance on the show, the one and only Scott McVicar. Scott, welcome to the show.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no, pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me. Number 3.
Yeah, third episode. You sent a very nice video for the 200th episode.
I did.
That was pretty intense. It was almost like you cut a promo.
That's what I was going for you, bud. I figured you would have appreciated it.
Yeah.
I did call you a podcast by accident. I remember
there's been a lot of
correcting everybody on that.
A lot of controversy about Let Freedom Ring and the podcast thing. This is not a podcast.
No, it is not.
You cannot find this on any podcasts.
No.
You can find this on YouTube and Merrimack TV exclusively. And on the Merrimack TV app now. There's actually an app for it.
I saw that. I didn't download it. I watch you on YouTube.
Okay, that's wherever you can find Let Freedom Ring. You have You have 3 options. But how you been since your last appearance in June?
Good. Was it June? Was it only a few months back? Yeah. No, it's been good. We had moved into Merrimack in May, so it was a month or so after that I was on last time. It's been a few months. Everything's good. Work is the same as work always is, and still just figuring out home ownership and all that good stuff.
Now, how are you liking living in Merrimack?
Oh,
Now that you were a Nashua guy.
Yep.
You moved to Mass though for a little bit.
Yeah, we were down. Well, my wife's from Malden. I was down there for 4 years, give or take. But being back where the air is fresh. The roads aren't completely, strewn about with potholes. People are nice. I haven't been flipped off once.
Really?
In
Okay.
a few months, we're loving it. Plus, it's just a beautiful town,
Yeah.
You got a little bit of everything, and we're right around the corner from Nashua or from Manchester. If you want to go out and get the bigger city vibe, right around the corner.
Yeah, you get in the highway's easy to get to.
Yeah. Traffic all the time coming home, though.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Bummer, yeah.
Yeah, like it gets backed up towards a lot by the homestead. Yeah, homestead, and because I'm coming from that way, and then it sometimes gets backed up, over by Thirsty Moose and everything.
Yeah,
so there's
that's
only
exactly where it is.
That's about some of the time.
And that's the bummer because our daughter Zoe, who's going to be 4 in February, she goes to school down in Nashua, so we're picking her up in Nashua, 4:30 or so, hightailing it back here. And
now it's dark.
Exactly. Oh, it's such a bummer with the dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll get stuck in some traffic every now and then. But if that's all I got to complain about, then I'll take it.
I got to ask this. Well, first, I got to say the Nashua Garden is now closed, so I know it's not going to be a place that you frequent. But any places in Merrimack now that you are living in town, like that you frequent?
It's funny that you said Thirsty Moose because that's my daughter's favorite restaurant. Big shout out to the crew at Thirsty Moose.
Poutine Fest winners.
I saw that. Yeah. Yes, I did. I've never actually had poutine. Yeah.
What's on them? So what you get at Thirsty Moose is not what they use in the.
It's not the gourmet
in the festival.
The contest poutine, huh?
No.
Poutine, no.
They brought out. They went all out for it.
If I drop the last name though, maybe they'll
possibly
they'll pull out.
Possibly, I don't know. They did make one for Tim after the festival when he came back. But yeah, Thirsty Moose is just like a happening place.
It's a good spot, I mean, it's huge, so there's always, we never have to wait for a table. They got a big beer selection if that's your thing, and food's pretty good. But my daughter just likes it because it's a moose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she likes it. And it's funny because her class mascot is this little moose, Millie the Moose, right?
Oh, okay.
And throughout the year, every other weekend or so, a different kid in the class gets to take that Millie the Moose home with them. And, we take pictures, fun activities, and then there's a whole scrapbook deal, right? So what was the first stop after we got the moose a couple of weekends ago? The Thirsty Moose.
Did you walk in like it was like, I got the moose?
We got the moose, yeah. A lot of moose pictures. Yep, so that was fun. So Thirsty Moose is good. We Tortilla Flat.
Yes.
On DW is right around the corner from us. That's our Mexican go-to. I've gone to the Homestead a few times. Homestead's good. And then for like Chinese, I'll go to the Lilac Blossom in Nashua still.
Okay.
That's just good stuff.
Now you have to go pick it up, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I'll take a ride and pick it up and get out of the house for 15 minutes. And
Jade Dragon, not a thing for you at all?
Never gone. Haven't gone yet. Yeah. People say I got to try Jade Dragon. Jade Dragon. There it is. Yeah. So we'll try there eventually, but haven't been yet.
Big softball restaurant.
Oh, yeah?
They have a tournament team every year. Got a lot of the trophies in there. Usually Jade's a pretty good team, too. So, big ties to the community there.
You're a Jade, I keep saying it, Jade Dragon lover, I guess, right?
I mean, I've been there a bunch of times. I mean, I've been there for karaoke.
I was going to say, they do a karaoke?
I wouldn't say, it's not like Grand Buffet back in the day type.
Rest in peace.
There was a lot of the time I went a couple of years back, it was a lot of the DJ singing. And when I went to ask him if I could sing a song, he didn't even have a list. He wrote it on a napkin.
Okay.
So I don't know if,
They need supplies.
They need supplies, and I think they need people that just want to get, if you go to karaoke, there are people that just like to people watch there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But you got, if you're going to go, you got to get involved.
You got to get involved. You got to get up there. You got to have your go-to.
Yeah.
So. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Well,
you're always a Michael Jackson guy.
I was a Michael Jackson. It's harder to sing Michael songs these days just because more that comes out, we all kind of were aware that he likely was what he is.
I guess. Yep.
And now it's like overwhelming. It's like an uncomfortable feeling.
You get booed off stage.
It's just not, so Bobby Brown, Every Little Step.
Okay.
Is a big one.
Yep.
That's my main go-to, but I'll sing anything. I mean, the time I went there, I sung Rick Astley there.
Rick Astley, yeah. I'm never gonna give you.
Yep. That was a hit.
Mine was always. Do you remember mine?
Not right off the top of my head.
Third Eye Blind.
Oh,
Semi-Charmed Life. Had to do it. You got the doos in there.
Yeah.
Crowd
Such a little bit of a dark song, but it always was like that upbeat, but we didn't know.
Yeah, it was my favorite. I mean, it's still like my favorite song. I mean, when you're 11, 12 years old, listening to that, you don't know what's going on.
There's a TikTok video talking about that. How didn't know it was about drug addiction and
good tune though. It's good.
They're a great band.
Yeah,
they're a great band. Yeah. Stephen Jenkins, right?
Correct.
He's been cornered at airports.
Oh.
And people asked him to sign something. He goes, "Tell me all the songs on the album."
All of them, geez.
Because what's happening now is people just put stuff in their faces at airports to sell.
Yeah, to sell it, sure.
So they're not real fans, and I think there's this like moral compass hitting a lot of artists that are like, I signed these for fans, not for you to make a profit.
I've seen that online with like wrestlers and athletes too. Same thing. They'll just do a couple. They know that these guys are out there.
There was a night, Edge is now wrestling for AEW, and someone had a figure, and he just didn't. He's signing all his stuff, didn't sign the figure. Dave Grohl will only sign for charity.
Yeah, good for Dave Grohl. What a stand-up guy Dave Grohl is, I think. Huh?
You got to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Now, I think you're at your 1-year anniversary for marriage.
Yeah, it was just on the 12th, a couple days ago.
Your wife's asked a couple questions. We'll get to that. But how's 1 year of marriage?
It's great. Yeah, can't complain. Love of my life. Love you, babe.
Same old. You guys were living together for a while.
We were, yeah. I mean, our daughter was not planned. So once we found that out, it was sort of commit or quit, and I committed, and we've been together ever since.
Yeah, I think the big difference with marriage is now it's like if you just want to pack up and go, it's a little more complicated.
Yeah, there's paperwork involved. You got to get a notary. There's all sorts of stuff you got to do. Yeah, hopefully, that's not coming anytime soon. And is that even metal? It might be metal. Is that wood?
No, it's a little mixture. All right, I do want to get into the fan questions because Megan asked some questions right off the bat.
Sure, she did.
What does he love more, his wife or his lawn?
Lately, the lawn.
Even
Sweetheart.
in November?
No, I'm kidding. I love you, Megan. No, I mean, it's funny that she says that because...
Are you that guy now?
Well, no, I had to be that guy. So one of the things with the house was we, not to go into too many details, we needed a new septic put in.
Okay.
So our septic is in the backyard. Once that ended up happening, they tear the entire backyard up to dig everything. So, the whole backyard was dirt and mud, all that good stuff. And then I got a track in the front yard where they had to bring the excavators and everything through to the backyard to do the septic tank. So once that was all completed, it was reseeding, regrowing the grass. And that's a lot of hard work if you've never put in a lawn before.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Shout out to Corey Walker.
Oh, that's like his gig.
It's his gig, yeah. He came over one night. He's got a whole trailer, a whole system set up. He's got this huge, like one of those like baseball field, like infield rakes.
Okay.
He's regrading the whole ground, giving me tips and pointers. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing that for a while now.
He's a pro. Yeah.
Oh, he's a pro.
He's a pro, yeah. That's what he does.
Is that like a thing? Like you have to get a certification or?
Couldn't tell you. About certification. You got to register for an LLC or a DBA.
Okay.
You got to register for a business and file taxes.
Yeah, he definitely does that. I hope.
I'm sure.
Fingers
crossed. So a lot of love goes into the grass. You got to. It's a whole science behind it.
So you're not that old man yet, like saying off my lawn.
Oh no, I will. Yeah, no.
Oh really?
Yeah, she actually backed up a little bit on the edge of it the other day, and we had a dispute.
Did you? Now I got to ask this actually. Now homeowner, and just talking about that get off my lawn mentality.
Yeah.
Did you get trick or treaters this year? What? What is going on here? Everybody that comes on the show, they don't get them.
Yeah, no, you have to go. So we went to a neighborhood in Merrimack to trick or treat. Mallard Point, maybe, a neighborhood sort of, in the back.
Did you put out a basket or something? Or?
So Megan's parents live with us, so they posted up at our place just in case. But we didn't get any trick or treaters. We're on a cul-de-sac road where the houses are sort of spaced apart, and there's probably only 24 or so houses, and there's not that many kids in the neighborhood either.
Really?
So yeah, I mean, there's only a select handful of kids that we know at least. So that's one of the big things in Merrimack, because again, all the houses are so spread out. There's sort of like points of interest to go to.
It's like everybody that I talk to is like they don't get trick or treaters. Like I'm sure there are people, but the more I don't know. Like
you gotta go to places now. A lot of places do the trunk or treat where they make it an event, and they do it in a parking lot and everybody goes there. You got businesses, yeah. We did that at the library, and the town itself did it at Wasserman Park.
Okay.
Never been down there. Yeah, they had a whole big Halloween thing. But the neighborhood that we went to was jam-packed with trick-or-treaters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's still going on. It just feels like a lot of people are just, I don't get any.
Out. Yeah, you gotta figure out a good spot to go to.
Megan also wants to know, Zoe wants to know if she can have a hug.
Yes, Zoe, I will hug you when I get home, I promise.
Okay.
I promise, yeah.
You're giving the kid plenty of hugs, right? Like
that kid gets plenty of hugs, yeah. It was just funny because Megan was, asking... She asked Zoe last night, who again is going to be 4 in February, Dad's going to be on TV tomorrow. What do you want to ask him? She didn't say anything last night, but then as she was going to school this morning, I reminded her that I wasn't going to be home tonight. And she yelled out, Dad, I'm going to ask you for a hug. So here we are.
Do you show her the episodes that you've been on?
I feel like the first time, we popped it on YouTube on the TV.
Yeah.
But she wasn't really interested.
Yeah, my nephew used to be a big fan of the show, but I don't think he really follows anymore. Now Brady's going to be 11 soon. Mm-hmm. There was like a time there where he was watching every week. Not hearing much about it anymore.
You got to relate. To the kid. You got to do a kids episode. You got to bring him on, maybe.
Maybe that's a possibility. We've never done that.
Maybe a good interviewer?
Brady, I think so. He's got a lot to talk about. Yeah. He's got a lot to talk about.
Kids Week on Let Freedom Ring.
Maybe that'll be a thing. Going into the new year, we gotta figure out new episodes. So, Sean Traxel, great guy. I haven't seen Sean.
Shout out Sean Traxel, good buddy.
He has a pretty interesting question here. Who's his favorite Simpsons character and season?
Yeah, I don't really know where he came up with that.
So, are you a Simpsons fan?
I was in the '90s, when everybody else was. Me and Sean Traxel, we were good friends in junior high, so maybe we watched a lot of Simpsons back in the day. What was the question? Who's my favorite character? Bart Simpson, I guess.
Really?
I guess.
Because Homer would be mine by far.
Yeah, I guess Homer's good too. But like for side characters, like Sideshow Bob was hilarious.
Yeah.
Right?
Was that Kelsey Grammer?
It was Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
Yes. Those episodes were funny. And then he had asked, what my favorite season was. So I would say probably... I haven't watched Simpsons in years. I have no idea. But the older ones, where there was the season where Sideshow Bob was like trying to kill Bart.
Yeah, I remember that.
Whatever season that was. 5, 6, 7? No idea.
See, I used to be a big fan, and I guess recently they're saying, I can't believe it's still on. I think that's ridiculous. It's been going on since like 89. It's got to be like one of the longest
shows. Yeah, exactly, right.
And I don't know who the audience is still watching it, but Homer's no longer allowed to strangle
the strangulation, Bart. Yeah, I saw that the other day. Yeah,
and Times are changing.
Like times are changing. Yeah, we can't strangle our kids anymore.
It was always a little bit much, but you always kind of just thought that it's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
they're yellow.
Yeah. His tongue all came out all wiggly waggly. Yeah. It's a cartoon.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Simpson, definitely Homer for me. But yeah, I feel like so many other shows came out. Everybody copied The Simpsons. South Park, Family Guy, American Dad.
Yep, all those.
Two Seth MacFarlanes just copied it. But I mean, I think that was like the start of a almost like adult themed cartoon.
Absolutely. I remember being, I don't think my parents ever said I couldn't watch The Simpsons, but I remember like watching The Simpsons, but like not telling my parents about it. I don't know if it was so controversial back in the day, but like I felt like I was doing something wrong because it was geared more towards adults, I guess.
Yeah, because it had that kid vibe too, because everybody wanted, everybody liked Bart and Lisa.
Right, of course.
It always had like a wholesome vibe that was raunchier.
Yeah. That
obviously a lot of shows have
pushing
copied.
The boundaries.
Yeah.
Of the mid-'90s, the Clinton years, it was a strange time.
Well, even starting that's what Fox was supposed to be, these edgier shows, like Married with Children was on there.
Never really watched Married with Children.
Yeah, I think they were on around the same time.
Yep.
The Amy something show was a little bit, I can't remember the last name, but Fox was like trying to push they were trying to be different than the other networks, and they were trying to have these
X
edgier.
in their title. They had to be X-rated, right?
I can't remember,
Mm-hmm.
but they were just, edgier shows. Then, did Fox have Now 210?
Couldn't tell you. Maybe. I bet. I feel like that was a Fox.
Yeah, so they had different kinds of, shows on there.
Never really watched 90210 either.
I mean, I did in spurts, but nothing, like I never followed it.
You know what I always get a hard time about for not watching was Saved by the Bell.
You never watched Saved by the Bell?
Exactly, right?
I mean, I think I watched more of it in syndication than when it first, I think it came out in 80. I want to think that was like 89 too.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Because I remember like coming home from school and watching it, and I would hate when sometimes they'd mix in the Good Morning Miss Bliss episodes.
No, I never started.
So that was the original show, and I would hate those episodes because they weren't their characters yet.
Okay, yeah.
So I'd be like, it's a Good Morning Miss Bliss episode. I don't really want to watch this today.
I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And all those, it's crazy. It's like they're all in their like 50s now. Screech is dead.
Oh yeah.
Is
he?
Yeah, he died of cancer
recently. Oh, that's right. Speaking of bad guys, wasn't he sort of?
What was his real name? Diamond.
Dustin Diamond.
Dustin Diamond.
A lot of celebrity boxing.
He had a lot of controversy later in life. I remember when he went on like Celebrity Fit Club, and he was fighting them with that. Like it's like, dude, you can't. They're trying to help you. But he did some stuff, and I think he had like a lot of heat with the rest of the cast.
Oh yeah.
And I think there was a lot. I think it's tough for like a kid to be that nerdy character on a show.
Yeah. Right.
If you look at the guy who played Urkel, like he's like, I'm really not like this.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm really not like this. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
He pushed for them to be that other character there, Stefan
Urkel.
Yeah.
He was a romantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was smooth.
He pushed for that character to show like, I'm not Urkel.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's just tough for child actors.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
But Mary Nardoni,
that's my aunt. Yes.
So there was a picture of you as
Mary.
A kid.
Yep.
I wish we could have brought that in, but she said, "You feel lucky, punk."
Yeah, I was holding up a gun. I think that's
I think it's why
Clint Eastwood.
Oh, okay.
Dirty Harry. You feel lucky, punk. I think that's what she was going for.
Yeah, okay. I thought, for some reason I thought that was in Home Alone, but the Home Alone movie thing that he does is not even a real movie.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, that was a movie.
It was a movie.
Yeah. No, it was a fake movie.
I thought so, okay.
Yeah. Like dirty, like winged angels with dirty wings or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You filthy animal.
I know you're a big Home Alone guy.
Love Home Alone, yeah.
And this year's season almost here.
I know, yeah. I'll watch Home Alone in the dead heat of summer, though.
Really?
I love it. Oh, yeah, I love watching people step on nails. Smash in the face with a paint can, can't go wrong.
What's great about that movie too is just you have Joe Pesci and then Daniel
Stern.
Daniel Stern, but Pesci was always just that serious. I mean, he did some comedy stuff. The Super was not good, but he did. Yeah, he was like a tenant. He was like a landlord. He was a like a dead scheming landlord. And then he did. My Cousin Vinny, which wasn't really like a comedy, but he really showed his comedic genius in that. Because you just think of him as a gangster, and like Goodfellas and Casino. So
love it.
Wide range of
Absolutely.
Talent out of him, and love that movie too. But I want to talk about this real quick. So 20 years ago, because we talked about this, ended the original Turkey Bowl. That's what they call it, right?
Yep, Thanksgiving game, Turkey Bowl.
Nashua High, not South, not North. And
Nashua Senior High School.
Nashua Senior High School,
the official name, I think, right?
Where we had thousands of kids in one school in this tiny, that's not tiny, but like, we outgrew that building.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But 20 years ago, the Turkey Bowl between Nashua High and Bishop Girton ended. And when you said that to me earlier today, I was like dumbfounded. I was like, it's really been that long?
It's crazy, right?
20
years, 2 decades. So I know you're a year older than me, so you got to be having your 20-year
high school reunion.
Yep. I graduated in 2004. We were the last official one class of Nashua High before, the school split. But yeah, so like that whole, and it wasn't even just the Turkey Bowl of the football season. It was, like every sport, whether it's basketball, track, whatever, soccer, etc. They were all, this is the last Nashua high school, So I think that whole year just had this whole different competitive dynamic. I would assume at least every team wanted to go out on top as the last class,
Absolutely. I stopped playing football when I was still a Pennachuck, so I didn't play in high school. What was that? Tell me a little bit about the rivalry, though, football-wise, between Bishop Girton and Nashua. Because they weren't in the same division.
No, yeah, we were. Was that divisions or was that classes for football?
They were Class
D1,
L and then Class
I or whatever. But I feel like football was divisions.
I think there was
D1 and D2.
I think football was Class L Division 1, Class L Division 2.
Could be. Oh, that could be
if
it.
I recall.
Yes, that could be it. It was the 2 schools in Nashua, the BG. Again, I have no animosity. I'm an adult now. I'm 37 years old. But, Bishop Girton was the private school with, whether or not it's true or not, the rich kids. And, when I started playing football in high school, Bill Hardy was our coach. I'm sure you know him from gym. He was
like a legendary coach
at
that point.
Yes, he was. Yeah. He
still is, but he was at that point already.
Oh, if you talk to anybody that's played in that 90s to 2000s, they know Coach Hardy. He was awesome. But he was really, old school and intense, and it was very much, he knew how to fire up a group of 15, 16, 17-year-olds, like those guys are the white collar guys, and they're looking to beat the blue collar kids, and it was always, we looked forward to it every year. But yeah, that last game, it was different. It was different. A week before that, we were in the state title game.
Oh, that's right.
We had played Manchester Central. I got this out of the archives, this old team picture. You got me, I had to flex. Always had to flex out in the front there. But yeah, we had just played that Saturday before and lost in the state title game against Manchester Central. And then we played in the Turkey Bowl, Thanksgiving's on a Thursday, so that was 4 days later. And
it's only, wow.
Yeah, between the championship game and that, yeah.
I think I remember this kind of,
Yeah. So, that was it. That group of guys, we knew this was our last game. A few guys played in college, but, like myself, I had no idea if I was going to be playing football in college or not. So it was, let's.
Was that so? Is that your last football game?
Yes.
Ever?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep, that was it. Went out on top too. I'll take it. Yeah, after a devastating loss a couple of days before.
And we have Scott has the original article.
I've got a bin of old articles.
This is the headline from the last Turkey Bowl, and that's pretty significant because. Yep. Today, I don't think people would understand what that rivalry was like, and especially how special it was on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was just that atmosphere. Everybody showed up. That's the thing. You're playing a game on Thanksgiving morning at, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't remember what time it was. But that place, Stello Stadium, was always just jam-packed. Fans on both sides. The stands are sold out. You got kids there. Again, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, stupid kids that are out there, no shirts in the freezing cold with Nashua painted on their bellies, that sort of stuff. It was, you got psyched up to play in that game. That's 100% for sure.
And before that, the games were at Home Stadium because my brother Tim had played in the Turkey Bowl. He had a big tackle one year. And I got to say, like, there was the one year in 2000 maybe. I have to admit, when I first started playing football at Penn, I wasn't that into it. Like, I would watch here and there, but, like, until I played the game, I didn't really...
There's a lot
I just wasn't that into it. And then, I didn't play... my sophomore year, but I still would go to the games because now I liked watching football.
Right.
And I remember the year Bishop Girton finally won because a bunch of people got suspended from the team.
Yep. So I was in junior high at that point. I feel like it might have been, what did you think, 2000?
2000.
Yeah, it might have been because the first time that I played in the Turkey Bowl was 2001. That was my sophomore year. So it might have been the year before that or it might have been 2 years before that. I can't quite remember. But yeah, a bunch of guys got in trouble for...
Probably underage drinking or something.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Which I do remember that, I will say. That always, set me straight in high school. Like, I was always scared of being that guy that
I think they put their names in the paper.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, yeah. I mean, again, this was 24 years ago, Nobody cared at that point. Names are going in there.
What if they're minors? Who cares?
Yeah, whatever. But, you say you play in football, like, you don't really know football unless you play. Like, I don't know baseball. I never played baseball. I could never say that I know baseball. But, like, you never know football until you actually get in there and get the X's and O's,
Well, I can say all the sports that I really watch now are sports that I really participated in. Football, rugby, baseball. But, yeah, like, when I was younger, I didn't really start to get... And I wish that I got into it younger because I think I would have maybe wanted to go further with it.
Right.
And because, I would watch the Patriots a little bit. Like, I knew Drew Bledsoe was our quarterback. But I get crap sometimes because people are like, I used to wear a Dolphins jacket as a kid. I never watched one game.
No Marino at all.
Not one game did I ever watch of the Miami Dolphins. I just had the jacket.
It's funny. I started playing football probably not probably, but 7th grade, in junior high at Pennachuck. I never had any interest in football before just trying out one day because one of my friends was joining. So I said, yeah, I'll go to the practice with you. And then I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Fell in love with it. Played 6 years straight. Couldn't go wrong.
And I got to say, so what was the final score of that game? What was it like after just knowing this was the
because I pulled out the archives, I don't have all this data on the top of my head, but it was we won 16-6.
Ooh, it was close.
Yep, from what I read. So I remember the game pretty vividly. That's the other thing. Like, you play a sport for so long, you don't remember everything. But I remember a good amount of that game specifically, obviously because it was my last game. I got the first sack of the game, I will say that. So I'll mark that down. We were down 6-0 at halftime, and then we came back 16-6. Defense, I was a defensive lineman. We held them to 5 yards in the third quarter. I'll take that. Troy Bowen, shout out to Troy Bowen, got a pick 6 towards the end.
Okay. Who's the quarterback at this point?
So that game, so we had Joe Ray Barrera, who was a sophomore at that point. Played baseball. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Joe Ray or not. Good kid. But Greg Ford was also our quarterback.
He had a great arm in baseball.
Yeah, he's another one of those. He's an athlete. That kid could just do anything. But he got hurt halfway through the season, I think. I don't quite remember. And then they had to plug the sophomore in. But and then a good friend of ours, Bill Munson, I believe, scored a touchdown.
As I'm wearing, so this is one of the. Bill unfortunately passed away almost a year ago.
Yeah.
This is the shirt because not only did Bill play there, he went on to coach for.
Yep.
It's crazy because the years fly by. Like, he was really the lacrosse coach for a long time, one of the football coaches very long time. How did Bill? So did Bill do anything else in that game?
I think he got like the one offensive touchdown for us. Yeah, he jammed it in from the one.
Was that a point where people kind of started to know that Bill was like a special player? Like,
yeah, that was the year that Billy. I wish. Yeah, I've got all the archives at home. Yeah. I got to pull them out. But yeah, no, Bill. He was a junior at that point, and about halfway through the season, I think he just. Found his footing and was just a powerhouse in the backfield. And there's one article that I have. I feel like we were playing against Salem High School, maybe, where the whole article was about him because he blew up Pete McVicar, another friend of the show, I believe.
Yes, many time guest.
I think there's a part of the article where Pete had pulled out and did a big block for Bill on a big run, and the two of them were best friends, so that was great for them. But yeah, he got that touchdown, and we won 16-6. It's a really intense game, cold game. But yeah, a memory I'll never forget.
Now, do you think, like, and I got to ask this because we really don't know. We're old guys now. We're removed from we're removed from
a lot.
The high school sports stuff like that. Do you think the rivalry now between the Titans and the Panthers, North and South, does have the vibe that? Because I mean, you're right. The Nashua Bishop Gerd didn't matter what sport. We wanted to beat them.
Yeah.
Do you think they still have that vibe?
I would hope so. I have no ties to high school anymore. I don't have any younger brothers or sisters or family or anything that played. Especially, where we're talking 20 years down the line. I would really hope that North-South have a good ride.
Because I think they do. I mean, I coached at middle school level for wrestling for a little bit. Kind of have that vibe.
Yep.
But, I mean, it's crazy because 20 years, I guess now at 39, doesn't feel as long as I thought it did when I was younger. Mm-hmm. But you got to think, like, people in their 20s, early, maybe even mid-20s at this point know nothing about this rivalry and what it was like.
Bred to hate BG.
We just looked at them as like the rich kids.
We looked at them as the rich kids. And then they had this, I don't know if they still do or not, but I feel like they might. There's a green school bus that they took to all their games, that everybody called the pickle. And it was just have a regular school bus, Like, why do you have to have a green school bus? It was just one more thing that we just could not stand.
I remember wrestling, which before I got to Nashua High, they were a powerhouse. Nashua Wrestling was. But I remember having matches at Nashua High School, and there'd be pretty much a few friends and your parents.
Yeah.
And that was all I was watching. But when Bishop Gerd would come to Nashua, all of a sudden our stands are packed. I'm like,
tailgaters, they were paying everybody to come in. They got the horns, the bells.
I'm like, we do this every Wednesday. Like, I guess this, but that was such an intense rivalry, such a cool thing, and it's crazy to me to think that has been done for 20 years.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't really been to many games. I really want to, because I'm assuming I haven't researched it, but I'd probably love to go see the Turkey Bowl on next week.
Well, maybe you could. I will say now that you're a Merrimack resident,
right around the corner.
Going to the Merrimack football games on Friday night are actually pretty fun.
Oh, I bet.
They got a cool setup. Yep. You could take your daughter. We've taken Brady there.
I've watched some on Merrimack TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've watched some live streams. Yeah, it's good, solid product.
It is.
Yeah.
I actually went to Merrimack made the state championship one year, and I had some old students that were playing. So I went to the game. I didn't work at the school anymore, but I wanted to see them play because I read in the paper a lot of the names of my old students. And they got pounded by Bedford, who wasn't really even like good, or even maybe they didn't even exist when we were in high school.
It's funny now that we're living in Merrimack. We'll drive through Bedford all the time. My wife, they're the Bedford Bulldogs, I believe.
Yeah.
We see bulldog statues all over the place, and we finally put it together. A couple months ago. She's like, "Oh, is Bedford a good school district? Are they good at sports?" And same thing. I don't even remember them being a thing when we were in high school.
The Bedford people went to, I believe, to like Manchester West or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And now they got
maybe some Pinkerton people in there.
Yeah, I went to that game. They got a pretty cool setup for the football field. But I remember when I was coaching, going to Bedford High. It's really nice. So they finally,
or maybe they were always great and we just never knew.
But they were at West. So you wouldn't have known.
Definitely were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
And if I'm wrong on that, someone correct me in the comments. But I believe it was West that they went to.
Makes sense.
Do you have any Thanksgiving traditions that you do besides?
Not really. When I was growing up, we would always have at my Aunt Mary, who asked the question earlier. We would always flip flop back and forth Thanksgiving, Christmas, at my house or my Aunt Mary's house. But nowadays, no. Especially where we're in a new house, and this is going to be the first New Hampshire Thanksgiving for us since we just moved in May. You know, we're sort of trying to make some new traditions, I guess.
Yeah, both. So her parents are with you guys.
Her parents are with us, correct.
So
my parents live right in Merrimack.
They're going to come on
They
over?
might come over, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Honestly, we haven't even figured it out yet, and we got
a week.
That's a week, right? Yep,
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, we don't have any, we just bounce around who's going to host.
Big family, though, yeah.
Yeah, you know. But now everybody's married, not me. But, so, you know, sometimes Bobby or Mike might have to be later.
Sure.
Kim,
yeah.
You know, so.
Fashionably late.
But
I could see Mikey being fashionably late.
Well, that's going to be a thing. So you're you don't even have to worry about that because her parents are with you. Like, because splitting, I was actually listening on the radio on the way over.
Okay.
Where this woman was like, every year we go to my boyfriend's parents for Thanksgiving. I asked him to come to my parents this year, and he said, no, I have to be with my family. Would that be a red flag for you if a woman did that to you?
Yeah. I think so, yeah. She said her boyfriend's parents.
They always go there.
Yep.
And she's like, this year I'd like for us to have Thanksgiving.
How long are you boyfriend and girlfriend for? Like,
the radio did not speak of that.
Well, there might be something else
multiple
going on.
Thanksgivings.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So,
put a ring on it, brother.
I think in a relationship, you got to split the time, right?
Yeah. Or make something happen, make something work.
And Thanksgiving is not...
Fashionably late, like you said. Dessert here, dinner there.
You can make everybody happy.
It's a whole day. There's 24 hours.
It's 24 yeah. You know.
Be there at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I want to talk about this a little bit, and because it's getting pretty... There's a lot of talk. Patriots are 2-8.
Yeah, they are.
I want to ask you this. We grew up I guess the last 20 years.
It's the worst time of my life.
We've been really good. It was every week was how are they going to win this game? Now it's how are they going to lose this game?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the day coming that the Patriots would be probably the worst team in the league?
No. So when I was on last time, you actually had my prediction. You wanted me to toss out a prediction for you. It was 9-8. I said they were not going to go 9-8.
Yeah.
So let's win this last 7 and maybe we're there. But I never thought it would be this bad. You know, like how is it the coaching? Is it Mac? Is it a little bit of everybody? Is Bill trying to coach his way out because he's done here? Who knows, man? I never thought it would be this bad though.
We do have a lot of injuries on defense.
It doesn't matter. And that's the thing. We're losing by just silly mistakes, minuscule amounts. But that's the difference. And just a good, just good. That's coaching at that. I don't know.
I just remember you'd see these drives downfield. We'd be down. You're like, no, we'll still be all right. Now you're just like, how are they going to throw an interception here?
Don't throw an interception. Just don't throw it.
And it happens.
You just can't stop throwing interceptions.
And then you give Bailey a chance, and Bailey's happy there, and he does the same thing.
Yeah, they're the same player. No.
So
I was really preseason. I was on the Malik Cunningham train.
Yeah, can't get him out there.
Why not?
What do they have to lose at this point?
That's exactly.
Didn't they release him again? They signed him, released him.
Yeah, I think he's still on the practice squad. Probably he's one. I feel like they always do that with players, routinely. But yeah, it's just you got to do something. It's never been this bad.
No, this is like
during our lifetime.
This is atrocious. I mean, I don't think it's been this bad since Bob Kraft has had.
No, this is his worst season ever. Yeah, exactly.
And you never thought you'd see Belichick in this predicament. And, now everybody's like, oh, it was all Brady. I'm like, it still was Belichick and Brady, in my opinion.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You said, I never, how are they going to win this? There was never a doubt. And why was there never a doubt is because Tom Brady he's the greatest of all time. Always won.
He would win games with this team. I don't think he'd win the Super Bowl, but
That's a yes, 100%.
He just didn't make
mistakes. Would make it work with whoever was on the field. You toss him superstars, he's gonna explode and throw for the most touchdowns ever. But he can also just make it work with.
I gotta ask you this though. A lot of people said they're like, Cam Newton was not the real replacement to Brady. He was a 1-year journeyman. Like Mac really is the successor to Brady. Was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Do you think the pressure got to him?
Yes. I mean, it's everything. It's the pressure because that first season he was good. He made the Pro Bowl. Granted, it was by default.
Backup. Yeah.
But I think everybody at the end of that first season had high hopes for Mac Jones. And then he got hurt last year, and then it was all just downhill from there. I mean, they changed. They gave him Patricia. I mean, you're gonna have issues there. But then he got hurt, and then I don't know if you remember when he got hurt, he was sort of. There were some images of him like really crying and whining.
Well, I was at the game when they pulled him for. Oh no, they pulled him for Zappy, and he is head down.
And that's the thing. He's still a kid. I feel like he's got a lot of growing up to do. Yeah. A change of scenery is going to do him good because I think that's obviously going to happen.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know who else is out there. Got to ask this though: is it time for Belichick to move on?
Yes.
He should not be fired during the season. I cannot support that.
You don't do that. You don't do that. You do not let Bill Belichick.
You do a mutual parting of the ways at the end of the year.
You make it sound good. You either trade him or you shake hands and make way. Absolutely.
If he leaves, where could you see him going?
I have no idea. I mean, they say on the radio, they've been saying Washington and San Diego, the Chargers, I believe. But who knows? No, it's Bill Belichick. He could.
Someone will take him. He's still a good coach.
Right.
I think it's just you don't have the talent.
Right.
You just and maybe that's Bill's fault too.
Yep. Yep.
But he might need a fresh start. I mean, how long can you be I'm not saying they're the best team every year, but how long can you be one of the top? They were a top 5 team every year.
They were the greatest dynasty of all time twice. Yes, absolutely.
How do you keep that going until you die?
It's impossible unless you. I mean, you gotta continue to draft the right players though, and I think that's always been something that they've been very weak on is just not evaluating the correct player and getting them at the right time, and also being afraid of the superstar. I think it's always good to have character people on your team, but Bill was probably always very. I want the nice character guy. I don't want any issues off the field or behind the mic. And
you won because you had. The superstar.
You had Randy Moss, yeah.
Well, Randy Moss, but I'm saying Brady became the superstar, and you had him for 20 years. Right. So you did have, you could win.
Brady's different, though.
You could pull people off out of Walmart, breeding people to go play in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, he was due. He was due for a downfall, but again, it's just so drastically insane this year. Nobody saw it coming.
I mean, I said after the Eagles game, I said, this isn't going to be the train wreck that I thought it was going to be. It's not going to be great, but then it just kept getting worse. Like, they can't win the close games. They get blown out at times.
Yep. Silly mistakes.
It's like, I remember they were playing the Raiders. And by the way, Josh McDaniels, you shouldn't have left because you can't be a head coach.
Oh, he's awful, isn't he?
He just stay as an offensive coordinator. Yeah. Maybe none of this happens if you never leave. But, they as soon as they get the ball, penalty.
Yep.
I think 2 in a row.
Yep. And that's coaching. That's just bad
Special
coaching.
teams is really bad again too.
Yeah, everybody's bad. There's no good points on that team. But like you said, there are some injuries. Still, you gotta coach them better than that.
It's and I still my thing is like personally, there's still entertainment value.
Oh sure, I'll still watch
because. One, I always watch my team, but two, it's like, well, now we're on the flip side of this.
Yeah, let's experience this.
Maybe they'll win, or they'll. How do they lose this week?
That's a fun game.
And as much as I love Belichick, some sports radio is you can listen to it again because for years I shut it off because I'm like, oh my God, guys, you have nothing to talk about. You're criticizing everything. We're winning. Shut up. Now it's like, I'll feed into this negativity because it's all true.
He deserves it. Absolutely.
What do you think of fans that still bring up Brady?
I mean, I count myself as one of those, and I think we're okay. I think he's the greatest of all time.
Well, I got into some the other day where they keep bringing up how Brady left. And I'm like, that is so irrelevant 4 years later.
It wasn't his fault, though. They just paid the guy.
Here's the thing, though. The team was already starting to kind of decline. But at the same time, like, it's over. Like, he doesn't even play in the league anymore. So I'm on these fan pages, and they're bringing up Brady. I'm like, dude's 45, 46 years old, not in the league.
Yeah, no, if they're talking about bringing Brady
back,
they're
not saying bring it back,
or
but
he should,
it's like rehashing the past. This is what it is. Like, he was here for a long time. He spent 3 seasons with the Bucs. Probably should have just been 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But he also played longer at a high level than any quarterback that's ever... Like, Vinny Testaverde, I think, was old, but he sucked at the end.
Yeah.
Brady just... It never happened.
And that just goes to show you why he's so much better than everybody else. The guy just has a mind for football, right? and just the competitiveness. Like, I still get fired up watching those old, Let's Go videos of him running out and getting everybody fired up. I don't know. I think he's just different.
I would not be shocked. This is a hot take.
Uh-oh, hot take alert.
If even at like 50 years old, if the XFL is still going, he's like, you know what? I'll come play quarterback here. I can do this at 50.
I could see him just throwing 30-yard bombs, yeah.
I honestly think, like, I wouldn't put it past him.
I'd tune in.
Yeah.
I'd absolutely tune in. If Tom Brady played, coached, and owned a team, sign me up.
I mean, Mac's probably going to be there at some point in the XFL. But I could just see Brady. He's still not done. He's like going back on Twitter with that other player there saying, I'll give you my Super Bowl ring if I can have your youth. And the guy still wants to be playing.
He can't do it anymore, though.
Well, the family probably wouldn't, but like he could still have played this year.
Did they end up getting divorced, or are they still together?
No, he got divorced.
Yeah, is that over?
Divorced. Yeah. It was like this whole like retired, come back, divorce.
Yeah.
And
saga.
I just don't think he was a guy that probably wanted to be married. I think he wanted to do what he wanted to do.
Just wanted to play football.
That's all
he got what, 2 weeks of family life, and he's like, no, I'm coming back. I'm going to the beach. I'm sending you a video. I'm coming back. Let's go.
He still has that deal. I guess he's not doing it this year. I thought it was whenever he retires that he's going to be on network.
He's going to be on Fox or CBS or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's take a year off and then do that. But then I feel like I also heard something about like ownership and the Raiders.
Yeah, but then they got like something happened with that.
Yeah.
He's going to be around. I'm telling you.
He's going to invent an app.
I'm going to tell you, when they go to the Olympics, I wouldn't put it past him and be like, I could throw a few bombs.
They ended up doing that flag football in the Olympics. Yeah, huh? You had mentioned it to me on my first appearance on the show, and I thought you were absolutely crazy.
Gronk wants in. Gronk wants in. You could bring like all these.
Gronk wins a gold medal.
If you brought in all these retired football players, they're going to go there and just kick the crap out of everybody.
Yeah, what's the point? Yeah.
Gold medals.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome, man. Jeez.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Brady coaches that team, or he's like, "Yep, I'm going to take a few snaps."
Nobody's going to hit me. Absolutely.
What do you think? I just want to bring this up too, though, just because they love trash talking us now. But the Buffalo Bills are on a nosedive too.
They can't figure it out either, huh?
No.
Nothing but talent. But same thing. Josh
losing to
Allen's
bad teams,
just throwing picks.
Yeah.
Too much. It's funny because I saw a video the other day where, I don't know if it was preseason or during the season, but it was Brady on, one of those talk shows that he's on, and they had Josh Allen on there, and Brady was giving Josh Allen advice about, not rushing throws, not forcing things, and Josh Allen was sort of just like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well,
here we are.
Josh Allen's a Tom Brady fanboy.
Who isn't?
No, he has his jersey and he idolizes him. So
yeah, well, he's forcing stuff, but
I said the Bills had to win the Super Bowl the last 2 years, and they just couldn't get over the hump. They lost to maybe it was the Chiefs and then someone else, and now I'm starting to say, well, now Miami's the team in the division.
They look good. Yeah.
Jets are, and that's the thing. Like the AFC is so wide open. Like the Patriots could be a contender if they had a good team.
Yeah. But alas, they do not. But it's wide open.
Future for the Patriots, if you were to guess. Is there any way of guessing right now? I don't know.
I think all signs point to Mike Vrabel. I mean, is
the Titans and him on bad terms? I don't know.
I don't know if they're on bad terms, but he's been there for a few years, and he hasn't won anything yet. And that's just how I feel like that's just how the NFL goes. A few years, and if you don't do something, then you're out.
Yeah, then you're just like. I mean, Jeff Fisher stayed there, never won anything for years.
Jeff Fisher's funny, though. I like Jeff Fisher.
But
yeah, I mean, I could see that. I got nothing besides that. I think they would just clean house, so it's going to be outside.
It's going to be hard to know what the future could hold, but when people are saying like you'll never see another one in your lifetime, I go, okay, whatever. I start 6.
Right. Yeah.
I start 6.
We'll see another one. We're still young.
Yeah.
There's plenty of years left for us to watch.
I'm just saying, like, I just love a lot of people dog on the Patriots now, but it's like, we lived it already. I've seen them win it the first time was enough, and then seeing 5 more after that was.
What's your favorite Super Bowl moment?
Moment? I mean, I think the Edelman catch.
The Edelman catch?
I mean, that's
Mine's
framed
the
in
Butler
my
pick. Yeah. Oh, that was just.
What was it? Oh, the
Malcolm Butler.
Oh yeah, there's so many.
That was just because we lost. That game was over. We lost.
But even like the field goal at the end of the first Super Bowl was amazing. Yeah. Second Super Bowl win, just kind of like nothing special.
To the Panthers.
We had a pick at the.
I don't remember any of that. Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah.
But then Malcolm Butler. Then obviously the comeback is just insane.
Couldn't believe it. I'm telling you right now, people think I'm crazy. I never worried in that game. The comeback game.
Tim Boyle did not either. Yeah.
He kept saying Brady.
Tim's like, they'll win this game. I go, okay.
Yep.
We had people leaving, people like, and I said, I don't know, I'm just going to watch because I always watch every game.
Never count that.
And it's the Super Bowl. And that was great. But the Edelman, I have a framed picture of that, and it's like one of my prized possessions because it's like, that was the David Tyree moment for us.
Right, exactly.
Like this time went in our favor.
Yep. Still can't believe you caught that.
Mm-hmm. All right, I want to get into my favorite segment of the show, which is blank versus blank. I'm going to give you two things. You're going to pick one. Tell me why.
Got it.
Stuffing or mashed potatoes?
Mashed potatoes. I have never been a stuffing guy, at least growing up, but I don't mind I don't mind a nice, good stuffing nowadays. But mashed potatoes. Give me some gravy on there, salt, pepper, a little butter. We're good to go.
Butter with the gravy.
Butter with the potatoes. You put a little butter up.
I'm sorry, butter and gravy on the potatoes then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
I've never done it myself. It's one or the other.
Yep. That makes sense. Apparently I'm a big butter guy. I shocked you with the butter.
Well, someone asked me the other day, like, oh, you don't have butter in your fridge? I go, no, never. They're like, really? I'm like, I don't know.
You just don't do anything with butter at all, huh? What do you eat for toast? Jelly?
Peanut butter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to do something. Huh. But yeah, not a huge butter guy.
I don't know.
Not a big dairy guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Cranberry sauce or squash?
Squash, I guess. Yeah, I didn't mind squash growing up. I like squash. Again, I like cranberry sauce now, but again, growing up, I was turkey, potatoes, a little bit of squash if I have to. Turkey skin.
Okay.
Yep.
You like the skin? Oh, okay.
Big skin guy.
Not good for you.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks.
The butter, the skin. What else am I doing wrong?
Green olives or black olives? I don't know if olives are on your table, but they're always on mine.
Olives at Thanksgiving?
My mom's always done that.
I've never heard of that in my life. I've only heard of olives in salads and on pizzas.
Really?
Yeah.
So I eat them by the jar.
Or like a martini.
Yeah, I eat them by the jar. I'm not going to.
No thanks. Pass on both. Green, I guess if I really have to choose one.
Man. Green olives are my favorite thing in the world, honestly. Okay. Would you rather your Thanksgiving be at lunchtime or dinner time?
Lunchtime. You need a nice midday Thanksgiving dinner at 2:30 at 2 o'clock. Time to digest. Have one of the football games on, and you get dessert later on.
Okay.
Also, leave room for travel just in case you got to drive home or something. You don't want to be out too late.
So what do you think is like the best time to eat?
2 to 2:30.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah. You might catch halftime of the first game. Or they got 10 a.m. games nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 o'clock.
Okay. Two people that have dated quarterbacks and that have, not quarterbacks, I'm sorry, Travis Kelce is not a quarterback. Football players.
Okay.
And got on screen. That was kind of a big deal.
Sure.
One is now Taylor Swift, which is probably the biggest deal.
Heard of her in passing, yes.
Biggest pop star in the world, no doubt about it. I love the merger of Taylor Swift and the NFL myself. But there was also, before she ever did that, there was Jessica Simpson and Tony Romo.
And Tony Romo, oh my goodness, you're right.
If you had to play a song, are you going to listen to Taylor Swift or Jessica Simpson?
Oh, Jessica Simpson.
Ooh.
I don't know any Taylor Swift songs.
Really?
Off the top of my head.
I could turn on a radio right now and her song's going to be on.
I'm the problem, it's me. I know that one. I know that one. But now I'm blanking on Jessica Simpson songs too. So, but nostalgia for us.
Jessica Simpson, yeah.
I can someone with my T-shirt on, or is that Mandy Moore?
That sounds like a country song.
Jessica
Simpson had the when I'm with you, now that I'm with you.
Now that I'm with you, there you go.
She actually did the making of the video of that. I remember.
Sure.
She was still with Nick Lackey.
Nick Lachey. Yep.
They called him Lackey on Punk'd, if you remember.
Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, now we're really going into the deep dive.
It was Dax Shepard that was punking him because remember he was on Punk'd before
more names. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Big shout out Jessica Simpson, though. She just hit like 5 years sobriety, so that's
Big
amazing.
fan of the show. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not that she's a fan. I wish she was a fan of the show. If Jessica Simpson is watching the show, please send me a message.
Hashtag Let Freedom Ring with Jessica Simpson, please.
Who was I'm sorry. Would you rather watch on Thanksgiving, because these teams always are on. Mm-hmm. These are 2 examples. Would you rather watch the Lions or the Cowboys?
I'm going to watch them both because they're going to be on at different times.
Which only get one.
This year, it's going to be the Cowboys because Tony Pollard is my running back, and he hasn't scored a touchdown since like week 2. So Tony Pollard, Dallas Cowboys, lock it in.
I mean, the Lions, man, forever.
They're a fun team, though.
This year, but they're always bad, and they're always on Thanksgiving.
I always like the Lions. That's the tradition. But I always liked the Lions because I was always a Matt Stafford fan, too. I was a really big Matt Stafford fan, so I was always invested in the Detroit Lions. But not this year.
All right, if you could only pick one of these holidays, what are you taking? What are you keeping? Thanksgiving, Halloween, or Christmas?
Oh, how do you... Only one? It's
Christmas.
Keep one. It's Christmas. You got to do Christmas. Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving. Throw Halloween out if I really had to. I mean, Thanksgiving out.
Yeah, Thanksgiving's not like...
Got to do Christmas. Best time of the year.
Thanksgiving's like Christmas light.
Yeah, it's the precursor.
Yeah.
It's the... What's that word when you get food first?
Oh, wow.
Why are we blanking on what?
Wow. Appetizer.
Appetizer. It's Christmas appetizer. Thank you. Whoa.
Old age is just, creeping its ugly head here.
And with that.
On Let Freedom Ring.
Yep.
I would pick Halloween, no doubt. As anybody knows me, I love Halloween more than any holiday. 4th of July is number 2. Maybe, they might flip-flop at times. Christmas is just, I like it, but I love you, but I'm not in love with you is what I would tell Christmas.
I love Christmas, man. I love putting up a tree. I love just the atmosphere. You got the music in the background. Sign me up for Christmas.
All right. Well, Scott, I really appreciate you coming on today. This has been a pleasure. We'll have to do it again sometime. But everybody out there, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll not be airing next week as it is Thanksgiving. Enjoy some football, some turkey. Maybe go see what the new Turkey Bowl is like in Nashua. I know Merrimack has a game too. I believe there's been years where they didn't, so actually don't quote me on that. But until next time, let freedom ring.